right. What's up, brother? Yo. Welcome to another episode of Health, Mind, Body, Life TV, where we have healthy conversations with healthy people. Today, I got a friend of mine, somebody I admire, somebody I've known for a little bit, and I've been able to watch him in his career and how he's grown. And he's doing some big things as of lately. Officer JC Memms. All right, not only is he a police officer, but he coaches youth sports, and he has his own podcast, Elevating Black Lives. What's up, sir?
Man, I'm good, brother. Thank you for inviting me on, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I've been seeing you doing your thing. You know, we've been talking about getting together and whatnot, so I'm glad you came over. Now we
made it happen, man.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to unite two channels. I'm like, yeah, we got
schedules, man.
Schedules, work, home, balancing, and trying to get it all together. I'm like, man, we're gonna get this. I was like, we're gonna get it. We're just gonna find a day. We got to find a day, lock it in, and we'll get it down. So, man, I'm glad to be here.
And now we're here, man.
Thank you.
So, I think we should get straight to the nitty gritty.
Jump in.
What the people want to talk about.
Let's go.
You, sir, are a black officer of the law. What are your thoughts on the types of things that we see going on today? I mean, it's been going on for decades. People are just now aware of it, right? But you being an officer and, you know, kind of having the other side, the other viewpoint of these types of situations, what are your thoughts?
Well, the viewpoint of being black and being a law enforcement, man, it is unique, because most times when you hear these issues come up, you see them instantly divide. People run to their corners, as I like to say. They instantly pick whatever their side was and they run to it. Okay. And without the knowledge of what the other side's seeing and understanding all the viewpoints, it makes it hard to have that conversation. So when you're culturally aligned, culturally aware, and in law enforcement, so I won't say just being black, because sometimes we're not culturally aligned and culturally aware of what all is going on and what we view and how we see the world, and being in law enforcement, that gives you a different perspective, and you can have a different conversation with both ends of the spectrum, because you can talk on both sides and no one can discredit you and say you don't understand. And so I find that to be very unique, because no one can tell you don't understand, because most times that's what happens when those two conversations come together. It's, well, you don't understand. You know, you don't understand how it is over here, or you don't understand what it's like to be over here. Like, nah, I do. And I can see the uniqueness of both sides and how they kind of come together. And so that insight helps a lot in breaking a lot of things down when you look at certain situations that happen, things that, you know, go on, you see in the media or whatever the case may be. It gives you a perspective to say, all right, I can slow down just an inch and I can process and kind of go through it a little differently. And I'm aware of, you know, the historical context that comes with a lot of issues when you're talking about the black community and law enforcement. Yeah. There's a very deep history. There's a very big overarching theme there. And then there's also law enforcement's viewpoint of, you know, wanting to protect public safety, things like that, and having to police, you know, the community in a fair and impartial manner. And so that's what law enforcement's striving to do. And ironically, that's also what black people want as well. They just want to be policed fairly. And so it's trying to reach our common goals that I find is where we're trying to have that conversation of we want the same things. And so we just got to overcome kind of some of the historical issues and even some present day issues and get us to that middle where we can talk.
So how do you think we have that conversation? Because I feel like there's a lot of noise in between that. And I don't think that the solutions that we're choosing to go about, and us being black people, I don't know if I fully agree with them wholeheartedly, and I'm just being honest. Like, I don't think that, like, protesting right in the streets and stuff, I think it brings awareness, but then also to the people who really don't care, they're not gonna care. And like, I mean, I don't know how many racist cops saw people protesting in the street and just said, oh wait, I'm not a racist cop anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that's the solution. I could be wrong, and I want to be wrong. I don't think I'm right, but like, you know, with my entire viewpoint, but I just don't see that solving the things that we got going on. And then from the other side also, like, I don't work in the police department, but working for the fire department, I'm on some of these scenes. I'm dealing with people from the other side, and I do see how things can go awry, and a cop can get blamed for something that wasn't intended to be that way. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So again, like, how do you think we can have that conversation? Where is that middle ground?
I think it's just going to have to come from both sides, actors on both sides, coming into it with good faith. Meaning, we understand the context, we understand the backdrop, but we're going to have the conversation in good faith. Meaning, I'm going to come in and let's sit down and really talk about what it is we want, what it is you're looking for, what action are we going to take? Because I mean, awareness is now pretty much there. I think we've accomplished awareness.
I think so too.
Like between marches, protesting, different campaigns online, the conversations being had online and in the media everywhere else. The conversation's there.
It's everywhere.
So I think now awareness is at an all-time high. Like, it's as aware as you're ever going to be. I don't know at any other point in history that you've had it in such a big stage. Mm-hmm. We're talking worldwide, like, other than maybe the civil rights era. Mm-hmm. Other than that era where you had worldwide notice of what's going on, you have that right now. And so now I've been turning that into an actual action plan, an actionable thing. Like, all right, we got awareness. Now what actions do we take? And it's going to be stakeholders on both sides.
Okay.
Having to come into that conversation with good faith, meaning real, true black community leaders, not just people with names and titles, and those in law enforcement who truly want to do the right thing. They want policing to be better. They got to come and get together and try to figure out how we start making actionable things to make sure we're keeping our word. You know, if we say we want to be accountable, we have to truly be held accountable. And I'm saying for law enforcement, we're going to say we want to be held accountable, we have to be held accountable, then we really have to do it. If you say you're going to be transparent, then you really have to do it. And that's good, bad, or indifferent. You can't just be transparent with the good stuff and there's something shaky and you're like, oh, I don't know. It's full commitment to transparency and accountability. And then on the flip side of it, because there's always a two-sided coin, you know, it's not just solely on that. It's okay, now in our community, what can we do to help bring that to bear? Like, all right, if they're going to be accountable, if they're going to be transparent, then we got to give something too. Like, we got to give something to the plate to try to make it work. Now, I've heard arguments, of course. Some people say, well, you know, they don't want us to do nothing because we didn't break the trust, they did. Fair statement. Yeah, I've heard that.
It is.
I've heard that.
Statement.
Fair statement. I can't really just say, true story. Yeah, if the trust was broken, it was broken on that side. But there is work to be done in our communities that we have to acknowledge, I think. You can't just gloss over it and say, well, that's got nothing to do with nothing.
Well, what would you say the work is?
Reduction of violent crime. That's probably one of the biggest things. Reduction of violent crime. Like, we cannot actively accept and participate in crimes against each other and on a level where you're talking about you're having 2 and 3 year olds getting shot in drive-bys.
Yeah, I get that. Like, but would you say that has to do with finances? Because if you go to, you know, neighborhoods that are, you know, more financially well off, I'm pretty sure that type of violence isn't going on.
It doesn't happen. Don't really happen. You don't really hear of it like that. So.
Yeah. So
poverty.
So
I would say, yeah.
I think that might be one of the better solutions if you find a way to. I mean, there's always gonna be poor people. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like, I'm very honest. It's just the truth.
Yeah, the Bible says that.
You know what I mean?
Whether anyone believes in the Bible or not, but it does say the poor you will always have with you. So
you know, like,
I doubt we're gonna completely eliminate poverty.
But I think that is definitely a way to help people help that situation, help the violence to kind of cease and desist.
Oh, well, from that standpoint, oh yeah.
Because you got to ask the question: Are people inherently good or are people inherently evil?
I'd say both.
Okay. Both.
I'd say both. And what factors steer you towards one or the other? So, what environment are you raised in? What are some of the generational curses your family may be dealing with? And then your own individual makeup. Are you that person that can go against the grain and actually say, hey, you know what, I can overcome this? Or if you need a little more help in that department, saying maybe you can make better choices, but you needed a better environment, better structure, better guidance, I'd say you're capable of both. It's just which direction you're going to get pulled in or influenced into. And then there's the rare exceptional individuals who can overcome, but I always feel like that's the exception, not the rule. And so it's kind of cruel to point to the exceptions and say, well, they did it. Well, okay, well, it's the exceptions and not the rule. And it's a cruel thing to say, point to the exceptional people and say, well, because they did it, anyone can do it. I'm like, well, that's not necessarily the case, because if you're born with certain gifts and things of that nature that just allow you to do certain things, that's not the average person.
Okay, so let's put that on. That question was put on the people, but now let's put it on law enforcement.
Yep.
Are cops inherently good or inherently evil? And that, I know, is subjective, but if you said people are both, right? Well, cops are people.
They are. They are people first.
They're people first.
Sometimes we forget, like, they're people first.
So now they're put into a situation where these situations are quick. These aren't, most of these situations aren't where you can think it through, right? Or you can sit down and say, like, break it down. No, it's not. No. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's rapid. I have to make a rapid decision, or it could cost somebody's life, possibly even mine, right? And it seems like the nature is to save their own life, right? They're in fear for whatever reason, and then they do something out of fear, right? That thing being or seeming to be evil, right? Killing somebody innocent, or killing somebody, not allowing for justice to serve its process, but to just take a life, right? But then you have situations like, and to argue against my own point, you have situations like in Ohio. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Split second decision, right? I have to save somebody's life. All I see is that there's a threat right here, right?
Yep.
I don't know what's going on. I just got here, right? I just got here and somebody's about to get stabbed. What do I do?
That's a tough one.
What do I do? But was that an inherently evil choice to make? I don't think so. In that particular situation, I think that was him doing his job. As harsh as it may seem, and you guys have a really tough job. You're not.
Yeah, it's almost an impossible job sometimes.
It's tough right now for you guys too, because you got a lot of heat on you. I mean, I think that your average person doesn't fully comprehend the type of thing that cops deal with. And this is me advocating for law enforcement right here. They're not going to work in their boss is the only one that's pissing them off, or their boss is the only one that's, up their ass, or, you guys are dealing with the shit of people. Like, you're dealing with the worst of people all day.
Or good people having a bad day.
Bad
people having their normal day, and then good people having a bad day.
Exactly.
You get the mixture of both.
But you don't know, with that, you get the mixture of both, right? Mm-hmm. But you never go to work and you say, I know exactly how this day is going to go.
Nah.
It's impossible for you, right?
I wish I could.
Right? It's not like you're like, okay, well, I know that I got to do this at this time, that time, and then I'll be out of here. No. In between all of that, you could have anything in the world that people don't want to deal with, right? Like an emergency. It's something scary. You see it, people see it on the news and they're like, oh my God. But you're actually there dealing with this, and you have to make decisions, It's tough. I know it's tough on the medical side for us. And I mean, even with fires, I mean, it's like I go to work, expecting that, hey, today I could get a fire. Right?
Possibility.
You go to work with the mindset of like, hey, today I might have to kill somebody. Like, but not.
Or be killed.
The
flip side, which is like, don't want to die today. Don't want to die today. Like, you got it in the back of your mind, like, man, I ain't in the mood today. I got stuff to do later on. Today ain't a good day to die. I got stuff to do later.
Yeah, man. But that's a lot. And that's a lot. And I don't fully I mean, especially because of the way the media portrays law enforcement as of right now, I don't think people fully comprehend that stress, right? And I'm not making excuses for any of the ones who have done wrong. If wrong is wrong, in my opinion. But your job is tough. It's not tough in the sense of like, oh man, you know, I'm in the NBA playoffs, tough. Playing against the Lakers or something like that. It's tough. Like, I might die today. There's a potential. I might not see my family, you know, anymore.
Possibility.
Everything that's important to me, like that's tough, man. That's rough. You guys got it rough.
It's a tough card to lay on there. Because when you say, are people inherently good or inherently evil? As I say, I think it's a combination of, you have both sides in you, and which one is cultivated, which one is influenced, in what direction. I would say, to me, that's where it's going to take you. And then going into a career like law enforcement, that's where what you're coming in with is who you are.
Okay.
Who you were as a person.
Explain that.
So, who you were as a person is who you are in here. Now, I'll throw in the caveat of saying, if you go into the right organization with the right type of culture, it can definitely help influence you and steer you the right direction if you were already pretty much going to be good to go anyways. So I feel like, if you're a good person, you come into a good culture, you're going to be fine. You're a good person, you come into a bad culture, it might be a little harder on you. You're going to have to fight those influences. If that organization doesn't have a healthy culture, they're not truly committed to doing the right thing throughout the agency. Meaning, I'm not saying every single person is going to be good, but that the organization's culture lends itself to truly community policing, truly coming out here and doing the right thing. It'll take you the right direction. If you are already coming in the door and you are already sketchy, and that organization's sketchy, you end up with some real major problems, because that guy's not going to turn into a monster. Because now they were already shaky.
And now it's like
they got the perfect storm. They came into an organization that's culture wasn't healthy, and you took someone that was already maybe not a great person, and now they're just taking a huge left, and they're out here in the community, unfortunately, and that's not what we want. And so fixing organizational cultures and fixing how you do business, like, you know, the leadership of that agency usually will dictate the pace and affect the culture. You have a healthy culture, you've got good trainers, which is a lot of times an overlooked part of it, like good trainers. They affect the culture. If you're not taking care of them and they're not out here teaching people the right way, they are literally creating your police force. Whether you know it or not, you may be a leader and you may be at the top, but those guys and gals that are training, they are the linchpins. They are the ones that are influencing and teaching the good habits or the bad habits. They're the ones influencing up close and personal. And so I think a lot of times it's not thought about. Like, 2 instances here recently involved trainers. Derek Chauvin was a trainer at the time. At the time, he was a trainer. The other officers there, he was training them. He's a trainer. And then the issue up in, still in Minnesota,
the taser,
where she mistakes her taser. She was the training officer at the time. So you're the trainer.
You're saying right now. I like what you're saying. This is good.
These instances where you have the trainer is the one making the call right now, and you got to think, this is who's teaching. So if they train 10 or 12 officers over a span of a couple of years, and they're a terrible trainer, and they're giving bad culture, they're giving bad advice, they're giving bad training, they're giving bad tactics,
receiving bad reps,
and that's 10 and 12 people that now go out on the road from that bad trainer with those bad habits. Bad trainers can kill your agency.
Because the trainer creates the habits.
They create them, man. This is the person you're going to learn from, where you're talking, man, I'm day one, I don't know, up from down. And so your trainer is going to heavily influence what you do and how you do it, how you police. Now, they're not going to change who you are as a person. Like, if you're a good person, you're a good person. But they are heavily influencing your style, how you do things, what they taught you, how they taught you. Because if they taught you to do something a certain way, and you take that with you and you go that way, and that's how you've always done it, you don't know any different until either someone trains you better. Until someone trains you better, or you learn better through experience and go, that wasn't actually a good way to do this. Like, that's not actually a good way. And you can unlearn some of those things. But I think you talk about when bringing people into the agencies, and if they're coming in good or bad or indifferent, the first person they're going to run into is that trainer. And if those trainers aren't culture,
make or break it.
They're not good in the culture here in the agency, they can absolutely destroy you and can just create bad clones of themselves.
So now when that split-second decision comes into play and you got a bad habit,
or they've influenced you to think and act a certain way in certain areas because they filled your head up with a bunch of nonsense when it ain't even like that over there. Like, it ain't like that in that community. It ain't like that with everyone you run into. But if they're pushing that into your head and they keep pumping you up with this fear-based training, which is something to get away from, is fear-based training, and incorporating fear as a cornerstone in the training is getting away from that, because it does start to create an unhealthy and unnatural fear in you that in situations where you shouldn't be so worried or so afraid, that, yeah, you can be cautious. You should be cautious. I'm always cautious.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the driving force behind all your actions. That I was afraid. And then, and not only that, training poorly on top of it. So if I'm using fear-based training and I'm training poorly, so we're not exposing you to, you know, solid scenario-based training, or, you know, good training hands-on as far as communication, learning how to de-escalate. Like, if you're not incorporating these things into that, now you have a problem, because look what you're sending out on the street. You're sending someone out that you didn't really train well, and the little bit of training they did get was all fear-based, based upon, you know, you can be shot and killed any moment. Well, yeah, this is true. You could, but is it likely to happen? One, and two, are you in situations? Are you acting on what you know or what you think you know?
No, I like everything you're saying.
Scary.
Everything you're saying is A1. You mentioned communication, though, right? So
don't teach it enough.
And you also mentioned community policing. From my personal experience, I've seen this work when the police know the neighborhood, when they know who lives where, who is who, Lil Ray Ray, you know, whoever, they know who they are. They know how to communicate with them, right? You see a lot less of that fear-based activity going on, right? That's from my own personal experience. I've seen that just on a local level, right? So why is nobody talking about that, right? Like, why when I listen to the news, and I try not to because it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
They always get the story wrong.
I don't watch it. I really don't. I really don't.
So side note, like, I try to tell, like, my family, like, it's funny because, like, sometimes I'm on some of these calls and I go listen to it on the news and I'm like, that's not what happened. That's not
really
ain't. Like that. That's really not what happened at all. But, you know, they rather believe, most people would rather believe that because, you know, it seems more professional than Jordan sitting here saying, hey, that's not what happened. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're built to trust it.
Yeah, but with that being said, why aren't people talking about that? Why aren't more agencies saying, hey, we need to break this divide that we have, and we just need to get into the neighborhoods and just get to know, you know, have a barbecue, invite people out, you know, give free hot dogs, like whatever, I don't know, like something to get to know the neighborhood. I'll be real. Black people, we communicate differently than other cultures, right? Other cultures communicate differently than we do.
Yes,
sometimes what can be perceived as aggression from us is not aggression at all. You know what I mean? But it's perceived that way because our cultures are different. But when you go and learn, hey, they're not upset. They just talk loud, like, you know, or they're just enjoying themselves right now. They're not a threat to me in this instant, or they're not even a threat to each other right now. You know, they're arguing over a card game. They're just bullshitting. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah, you know, but I can see how it can be perceived another way. But if you understood who you're dealing with in the times that you're dealing with these things, I think that a lot of that fear would go away. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that we are as different, like, culture-wise. I don't think we're too different. There's a couple things, but whites, blacks, Spanish, whoever, we're all the same. We're all humans. You know what I mean? We're all one race, the human race, right? You get us all in a room every day for 2 months, we'll all be friends. You know what I'm saying? You might have things that you dislike about a certain person, whatever. But at the end of the day, we'll see that, hey, we're all pretty much really alike. And that's why I love Central Florida. I don't think I'll ever really move away from Florida. It is a melting pot. It's super diverse, you know. And I enjoy the fact that I have, you know, friends of multiple cultures, multiple races, and everything like that like I can spend time with and get to know and get to understand. I think that that law enforcement should incorporate that across the nation. Incorporate getting to know your neighborhood, especially when you're working in the hood. I mean, you got a green officer just got in here, you know what I mean, and now he's going and working in the hood somewhere, Pine Hills or whatever, and he ain't never been around black folks before. He's seeing how they're communicating.
No cultural experience.
No cultural experience, and now you expect him to not have that fear? You get what I'm saying? Like, not saying that we're to be feared, but it's just like he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's real, what's a threat, and what's not when it comes to us. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
So that's what I think should happen. But I don't see anybody talking about that, and I don't know why that is.
I think most agencies now have started turning that corner as far as really truly making community policing, community relations a bigger part of the overall agency mission and the goals. So they're making it the centerpiece. Now, some agencies are doing it in lip service. Some are really truly getting out there and going boots on the ground.
I want to see
and
it truly
really
happen.
No, we're gonna invest in putting our time and energy into building up these relationships and truly becoming like part of that community. Having your officers really truly be a part of the community. Because it's like I said, there's two ways they go about it. So some agencies do lip service, they do the little stuff here and there, maybe take a picture or two, yada yada yada, and they're out. And some are really truly making strides and saying, we're going to change the way we police, we're going to change our policies, we're going to change how we just put new people out there with no experience anywhere ever, and then just expect them to just figure this out. Like, no, why don't we get them out there, get experience, get to know people, talk to people, let them know you, humanizing that whole setup. That way, the first time I meet you, the first time I run into you, isn't going to be with this negative experience. Because it's by nature what we do. It's going to be, I'm not going to meet you most times on your best day.
No, why are you calling 911?
That's just the nature of the beast.
Exactly.
Most time, I am not going to meet you on your best day.
No.
And so if you can one of the strategies of getting people out here and letting you meet the community, meet people, get out there, get on foot, go walk, meet kids at the park, go walk through the neighborhood, knock on some doors, introduce yourself, talk to people, be at events, show your face, introduce yourself. Who are you? What brought you here? Why do you want to police here? Have these kind of question and answers with new officers and having them meet the community members and community stakeholders. Mm-hmm. Because now the first time I meet you isn't going to be at a traffic stop. Mm-hmm. Or it's not going to be at a family dispute at your house. Mm-hmm. Because no one's in their best moment right now.
Nobody.
And that's very important to remember that you're going to naturally meet people in their worst moments.
Yep.
So it's trying to create more of those positive interactions to say, I got to offset those, or at least getting you started when you come here as a new officer. Hey, we want to get you out here and meet folks before that.
Yeah.
Get out here and, talk to folks, introduce yourself, whomever, in any neighborhood, every neighborhood. So that way you're not meeting people for the first time on a bad day.
I'm Officer Bill.
Because it's just not the way to meet people.
No.
And I tell people all the time, over the years, I've always said, hey, I hate that we had to meet this way. I say that a lot. I used to go on calls more often, not so much now. But I used to always say, hey, I hate that we met this way. Hopefully I'll meet you in a better way. Or I'll meet you on a different day and we can talk or something else. Because even if it's just them being the victim of a crime, I just hate that we met this way. Because it is me meeting you for the first time and it's negative. Your car got broken into or you got in a fight with your boyfriend.
You're upset.
And this isn't a great meeting.
No, it's not.
I'm like, you know what? Hey, I hate we met this way. I would prefer, hopefully I run into you later down the road. And,
but
it won't be this.
That's good communication on your part, right? And we just need to see more of that from department wide. But I'm hoping for a positive change. I believe in people. And so I think that
I think it can be done.
We'll get there.
It's really got to be the focal point of bringing in, as I started at the beginning, it's who you're bringing in the academy. How you screen these applicants, what we teach and train, so like pushing a bigger emphasis on communication, on dealing with people. What used to be called soft skills, these aren't soft skills, these are essential skills. Mm-hmm. Your ability to communicate and interact with people in these moments where they're not in their best moment, that is an essential skill.
And we're seeing
my hard skills, aka your tactics, your your all the other stuff, defensive tactics, handgun, taser. That's your hard skills.
Mm-hmm.
These are essential skills too, but I'm going to tell you which one you're going to use the most.
Exactly.
And it's going to be how you communicate, how you talk. And so I'm big about emotional intelligence.
And we're seeing that with these cases, we're seeing that these essential skills aren't put, when we have one of these cases, not all of them, but a lot of them, those essential skills weren't there. There was a communication issue that caused whatever to go down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Communication, training, tactics. Because when you see them break down and they're poor, I kind of know the outcome's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, I know the outcome's not going to be good. I know that I can see from the beginning of a video. A lot of times I can look at an incident 10, 15 seconds in. I already know this ain't going to work out.
Okay.
Just based on how it's going. I don't even have to know. You don't have to tell me how it ends. You can just show me. And I can probably tell you in 10, 15 seconds whether or not it's going good or bad. And how can it probably take a left on you here if you don't do one or two things to correct it. Mm-hmm. Or if they don't make a change here, it ain't going to get any better. And so...
Now, how long you been a cop?
13 years.
13 years. And now you're a sergeant.
Yeah.
How long you been a sergeant?
4 years now? All right. So I've been hanging in there for a while.
You were involved in training and... Right? Or
used to be heavily, and now I'm really just focused on the unit aspects. But
gotcha.
But teaching training was definitely a passion. So
awesome,
that's awesome. Kind of where I got a lot of the thought process about
get out
training.
What's the word?
Hey boy, that's where I got a lot of that thought process, and seeing and dealing with a lot of the new folks and in the academy especially.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's the start. It's a solid foundation, and I know that's a focus for a lot of agencies, good agencies. My agency, it's focusing on the beginning, giving you a good start. That's the focus. Give you a good start, get it. That's where you build that foundation. Because if you build it solid, then the house you build off that, the career you build off that will probably be solid. But if you don't have a healthy culture, if you're not training and teaching properly,
foundation's
and
weak.
then you send these people out, they got a weak foundation. And when they run into the first sign of trouble or they run into a problem, these issues are going to come to light.
Sure.
They're going to immediately show themselves. So that's a big part of that is teaching, training, and how you recruit these folks and who you get and where you get them from. I think, and then indoctrinating them into a healthy culture. So it's a dense topic. Obviously, we're gonna skate over a lot, but I think that's a big part.
So, speaking of healthy culture, right? Mm-hmm. You started the podcast, your channel, Elevating Black Lives.
I did.
All right, and I like it. I like what you're doing, man.
I appreciate
pretty
it,
dope.
brother.
It's pretty dope. Tell us why. Like, what was it? What clicked in your mind? You're like, yo, you know what? I need to do something. Besides doing law enforcement, I need to do something over here in my personal life to elevate Black lives or to help my culture out. Help us get healthier than we are.
I had the idea for a while, man. I kind of contemplated it for a while. Like, do I have the time to do it? How do I want to get into this? Maybe I should just wait until I'm like old and retired or something. I'm like, you know what? There's no better time than the present. 1, 2. There's a lot of conversations that I've had over the years and I are having now that I felt needed to come to the forefront. Like this, I want to put this out. Like I want to talk about these things and the uniqueness of they have in my own perspective, one, of a lot of these situations that I see and truly wanting to see our community change for the better. Because you see a lot of things over the years that I've seen over the years, good, bad, or otherwise. And I go, man, I wish, we could talk about that out loud. Or, we talk about this stuff in private. But I'm like, but this needs to be what we talk about to the community, to everyone. Like, this is what we should be talking about.
Yeah.
We should be talking about finances, family, Black mental health awareness. We should be talking about these things and getting those conversations going locally.
Yeah.
Because you never know what movement you can start or what change you can get started that actually can impact and change the community. So wanting that to happen is what made me launch the channel. So it's Elevating Black Lives on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube.
Yeah, I like it.
And so far it's been a couple months and we've been having good growth. It's been great conversations, the guys and gals that have come on for different topics, different perspectives, but all with the goal of wanting better for the culture. That's it. No other agendas, not pushing believe this or believe that, or no, man, it's just having a conversation. We may have different opinions, may have different ideas, but the ultimate goal being we want better. We want things to be better. You know, we want to see black families get healthier. We want to see black families grow and do better with finances, do better in fitness, start addressing a lot of the things that we know are plaguing us. And you pull up any of these statistics in any category, and black folks are there. And so wanting that to change and say, well, or start to change. So I know my goal was, I know I may not see it in my lifetime. I probably won't. But hopefully, talking to our youth, talking to our kids can influence them to do the things that we talk about now that I wish I would have been thinking about talking about when I was a teenager. Because had I had that influence and maybe that conversation, I might have been able to do something different or turn the tide and did something different, in every basic facet. So that's the goal, and so far it's been good, man. Been having a good time with it.
Feels good when you help people out, right?
I love it. I do. I've dedicated my life to it. So now I'm just here, finally kind of like, you know what? I want to start branching out and kind of really start pushing towards doing more community work. So starting to push towards that direction as well. So looking at a couple upcoming projects in the future that want to get out here and take it from talk to action. So
I like it, man. I like it, man. I like it. And I see you've been on your fitness grind lately. Getting after it.
I try, man. I ain't like you yet, but I'm getting there.
Calm down, man.
I'm gonna get there. I ain't there yet, but I'm gonna get there.
Nah, man. I just do it. I just do it to stay healthy, man. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder or anything like that. I got to stay healthy, especially for what I do for a career.
I try to maintain some level of fitness. I'm doing air quotes. Some level of fitness. Like I try to maintain it because it's important, man.
But you feel good afterwards, right? Like once you started a routine.
Once you get in it, it's good.
It's good, right? I mean, it hurts at first, it sucks at first, but then once you're in it, it's like, all right, well, I didn't go to the gym today. Oh man, I need to get over there. I need to do something. Oh, I ate like shit last week. This week I need to tighten up.
I gotta eat clean. I'm eating clean this week because I ate like shit last week.
Oh yeah.
Funny you said that. I ate like shit last week. This week I'm eating clean.
Man, don't worry, bro. It happens.
It
happens, dude.
I'm chilling.
I was just in Colorado recently, and for a week after that, I just vacation mode all day. You know what I mean? Just pizza. It was bad. It was real bad. So I'm cleaning it up too.
See, that's what I did, man. I just got off it. I'm like, I gotta eat clean this week.
Yeah.
I realized it's about Saturday. I'm like, woo, Monday, I'm gonna have to chill.
And see, and that's the thing. It was bothering me. I was like, man, I know I shouldn't be doing this right now, but I'm in vacation mode. It happens. But that's the reason why I personally practice 80-20. I think that if you put in 80% of the work, you deserve 20% of time to do whatever it is that you choose to do, right?
I like that.
So if and if you break it, you can break it up however you choose to, whether it be your month, whether it be your week, but 80-20,
I like that.
80%, do what's right, eat right, work out, meditate, read a book, whatever. And then that 20% where you're sitting on the couch and you order that pizza and it arrives, and you're like, I'm about to bust down.
It's a good moment.
It's a
happy moment. After this week eating clean, it's going to be a good moment next week when I'm like, yeah, man, I'm doing pasta 2 nights in a row. I'm going to do carbs. I'm going to do them. I'm going to do carbs next week.
You a big pasta guy?
I am, man. As I'm like, I'm going to die like this. So next week, I'm going back to my carbs next week. But this week, I'm going to fall back. I'm going to fall back. Took the hint.
Nice, man. What have you been doing for workouts?
Variation. I'm trying to just do all calisthenics. I kind of got away from heavy weightlifting a couple years ago. One, joint stress. Just starting to take a toll on me. So heavy lifting, powerlifting for years, yada, yada, yada. I kind of had to stop. I realized I'm starting to feel the effects, and now I'm getting into those, I won't say what number, but getting up there. And I'm like, man, I'm feeling it now. I'm starting to feel it. I don't recover as quick.
Yeah.
You're finding yourself having to wear more braces or having to do them. Like, you know what? I need to just chill. So I switched to calisthenics and purely outdoors. So
it's working for you, huh?
Yeah. Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, sit-ups, crunches, mountain climbers, running, jumping jacks, 6 inches, squats, lunges, just all outdoors and trying to just keep outdoors basically and keep myself moving. I want to be functionally fit for what I do because being just mass doesn't really help in this line of work. It doesn't do any good because you don't have the endurance and the functional fitness out here to say, hey, you know, run 100 yards, jump that gate, and then get in a fight for 2 minutes. You know, just lifting weights ain't gonna get you there.
Have you ever incorporated some mobility training with like what you're doing right now, like some mobility exercises and stretches and stuff like that?
I'd be interested.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about joint stress, so it helps. You know, I mean, the overall goal, we want to be able to use our entire body.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? For things just like when we were kids, you know, we run, do cartwheels, all that stuff, right? Well, as we get older and we're putting more stress on our bodies, and you know, we still want to be able to try to use those things and try to kind of, you're not going to be as fit as a kid, but you're going to be able to use your body the way it's meant to be used, right?
I like it.
So I can show you some stuff later.
Oh man,
to help you out.
I'm all for it, because like I said, man, getting older, you realize, hey, I got to take care of this thing. I got to get at least 30 more years out of it.
It's on you.
And then after that, it's like, well,
it's on you, especially in your line of work, because of the stress that it comes with, right? Like, that also weighs on your body, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
The mental stress. That's why I like what you were talking about, mental health, because mental health also contributes to your physical health, right?
Absolutely.
And so you got to find that balance in between it all. But it's a very, very important we take care of this vessel, man.
It's all you got.
It's just like buying this is the Ferrari, this is the, you know, Rolls Royce that everybody they desire. You already have it. You know, it's your job to keep it clean. It's your job to, you know, change the oil and, you know, whatever.
Listen,
do what you gotta do.
You only get one.
You only get one. That's it, man.
You only get one. I'm like, yo, I got to take care of this thing, and I can't risk getting hurt or killed just because I'm simply just not halfway enough in shape to just hold my own. Or to save someone else. That would be a tragic thing to feel, is that you weren't at least in a little bit of some physical fitness would help. So big time.
What have you, as a cop, what have you done to kind of help, like, exercise your mental health? Is it the youth coaching the youth? Is that your kind of like your escape of like goes?
I do. I'm big about one, always taking time for yourself to decompress. That's huge. Finding those moments of your own peace. So you got to quiet your mind down. You got to cut the phone off. You know, not read emails, not look at find those moments to just find those little.
It's so hard sometimes.
It's hard, dude. I'm telling you, man.
It's so hard.
Just cutting out and saying, I'm gonna find my little moments of peace. Some people say meditation. I personally will just incorporate it into my workout. Okay. So, and like, you know, the cool down portion of the workout or warm up portion, generally for me, is when I find my moments to kind of let my mind drift and kind of just start to come down, find my calm. Two, at home, definitely try to like read, find things you enjoy, read, watch TV, you know, even if it's cooking, whatever, cleaning, whatever you like to do, whatever small thing you like to do. I'm big about rewarding yourself every day. You know, you work hard every day, so reward yourself in small ways every day. Find something that you like and always give it some time towards that, because you're going to give this job 12, 13 hours in a day. Give yourself at least 30 minutes to an hour. Give yourself at least.
You see, y'all cops get to go home.
You know, like, man, at least
24-hour shifts be waiting on you, boy.
Hey, man, but you get to sleep half of it.
But, that's not even true, man. Y'all some haters, man.
I'm like, you got to give yourself a little bit. I'm like, give yourself at least 30 minutes. You're going to give them hours. Give yourself something you like, no matter what that is. Even if it's you like comic books or you like video games. If you play video games, take that 30 minutes or so and do something you like. Take your moments, have your moments. Don't get so caught up in going thing to thing to thing. Family, spend time with my family, my kids.
So important.
Like, you know, and then in those moments, really spending time, being mindful of the fact that you're in that moment, and tune the other stuff out. So even if it's 30 minutes, for those 30 minutes, you have my undivided attention. Whether it's my kids, whether it's whatever, like, you have my undivided attention. Because, again, you don't get for so many, so I'm going to really truly say, all right, in this moment, I'll be mindful. I'm not going to do this number or just going to slow it down for that moment. And to me, that helps a lot between all those little ways.
So important, dude. These phones, man, just notification after notification after notification.
Oh yeah.
I love when I do shut it off and just leave it be, but like even when I do that, I find myself,
Thinking about it.
Did somebody call me? Did I miss a call? Did I miss this? You know, like it's, I don't know. I need to, I don't know. I need to just break the thing and just never use it again. Because like I feel like I've, as of lately, gotten like addicted to it. You know what I mean? Just like checking sports scores. You know, like who won the game last night. Like it's just always like I'm always on my phone. And I catch myself like, dude, I need to chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even right now, you know, we're filming the podcast using my phone as a camera, and I'm like, did I put it on airplane mode? do I need to go check it? And like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's literally constant attachment, man.
It's bad. It's bad.
It can't move without it. Can't do this without it. It's constant connection, and sometimes you just need that breakaway. I'm like,
well, I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, I was like, what's most important in life? Like all that stuff, social media. You know, emails, whatever, phone notifications, like this little box. This is not life. This is not important. This is what's going on in here. It's nice to be connected from time to time, but the true connection is this. Having a face-to-face conversation, which we've seen, you know, the generation coming up after us
can't do it.
It's tough for them. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, what do you mean? Why can't you just text me? No. I want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. Why people are like, why are you calling me? You know what I mean? And I get that. Like, people hate being called or whatever. I have a problem with cold calling people. I just like, hey, I want to hear your voice. You know what I mean? But like, I probably should start sending a message beforehand. Like, hey, I'm gonna call you.
Right. It's incoming.
Yeah.
Incoming. What's incoming mean? Oh, you about to call me?
But all of this stuff is not important. What's important is, like I said, it's this type of stuff. And that's part of the reason why I was like, you know what? I want to start my own podcast. I want to start sitting down and having these healthy conversations with people and just kind of helping people to remember like face-to-face moments of interaction and openness. It's a beautiful thing. Like I feel good after every podcast episode I've done. I feel good afterward. I feel like I got to know the individual a little bit more than before. You know what I mean? I've gotten to know myself and just kind of like how I communicate and getting better at communicating. Which it's
something to watch yourself and go, oh wow.
Yeah.
You now get to watch yourself and go, I do that?
Yeah, I don't fully
like
listen to all the episodes because I hate my voice. I'm just like, what?
Me too.
Why do I sound like that? Like,
Me too.
But yeah, man, it's extremely important to definitely put that phone down, connect with those who are important in your life, because those are the ones that's going to be at your funeral.
Right.
All the followers, and my homeboy told me something that was super dope, because I was in a mode of like a little bit of depression. I don't know what depression. I don't want to call it depression. But I was just kind of like down, and I was like talking about like, oh man, I'm not getting any viewers and this, that, and the other. And he was like, how many people are like liking your stuff? And I'm like, I don't know, like, you know, like I'm averaging like 25 or 20 or whatever. And he's like, well, those are the people that matter, man. Like, just even if you're just making episodes for those 20 people, you know, those 20 people have been rocking with you from the very, very beginning, right? Sure. And so I take that and to put it into my own life, right? Like, the people that like actually call my phone or text my phone and say, hey, let's go hang out. Hey, can I come over? Hey, you know, let's go grab a drink, whatever. Those are the people that have been rocking with me. Those are the people that that's who I need to be connecting with. Not trying to connect with the entire world, you know.
Right.
Which social media will draw you into that, you know, especially when you're trying to build something, right? And you want to try to connect with everybody out there, but it's like, no. I need to just connect with these people, the ones who matter, the ones who are going to show up at my funeral. When I'm dead and gone, who's going to be standing there giving a speech?
All 10 of them.
Right? Or laughing at the suit I got on. Like, these people, these are the people I want there.
Who did the body? That's always a question. Who did it? Like, oh man, they got him looking like you're a clown almost. They got like blush on your cheek.
And I'm cool with it, man. Like I want my boys to roast me at my funeral, man. Like it is what it is. I'm gonna roast them at theirs, that's for sure.
And clear their brow.
Yeah, that's how. But you know, like I say all that to say, like, you know, true connection and true focus on the people that are important to you is so important. And I'm just kind of realizing that as I'm getting older. Now it's so much more important than what's going on in social media or, you know, over here and over there. Focus on you and yours and all that other stuff will, you know.
Dude, that's actually really, like, that's a solid point in terms of the society we live in, unfortunately, with social media, with like chasing the numbers is what I look at it, like, you know, the views or likes or whatever. Chasing the numbers is a thing. Like, you know, people post because they want that instant validation, you know, and so we've kind of grown into this culture where social media sets you up for wanting that instant validation of saying, you know, you post something, you want 50 to 100 likes because that means, you know, aha, all right. Well, what if it gets 2 likes? Was it any more or less important or any less impactful? Like, you know, just chasing the numbers. The numbers will get you, man, even views and stuff like that. So a similar thought process when I got started, man. It was like, all right, you know, you obsessing about, you know, views and counts and numbers and analytics. Like when you're backstage on this whole thing, you're looking at the analytics and you're like, all right, what are my numbers looking like? What are my engagement time? You know, you start getting into that and it's like, you know what? You got to remember why you're doing it. Like, it's easy to kind of get sucked into real quick because that just happens naturally. And so it's like having to then go, remember why you do it. The people who are you trying to connect with? I'm like, well, what's the original mission? What was the goal? You know, be you. Don't go do what anybody else is doing. Don't try to do something just to go viral. I'm like, nah, man, stick to your guns, stick to what you're doing, what your mission was. And even if it impacts one, then to me, that's all that matters. If it impacts one person, so whether it's one call, whether it's, you know, coaching one kid, but if it impacts one, then that's it. That's all I needed, because I don't know that we'll ever know our true impact on anyone or in anything, but knowing that it only takes one, and you can change the world from one thing. And that, to me, has always been the kind of my back thought of like, you know what, but it only takes one impact. And I may not even know I impacted that person. And they could go on and change the world.
Okay, Tupac.
And so,
right,
you never know. You never know, man. That's how I like to keep it in my head. That's how it keeps me grounded to go, but you only needed one.
Yeah.
So as long as it was one, you're good.
Yeah, this was good, man. I'm glad we
yes, sir.
We sat down, we chopped it up a little bit, man. Definitely got to come back on the show. I need to go on yours.
Oh, man, listen, I gotta at some point get into fitness, because that's a topic. You know, we talk about everything. We talk about a lot of things.
Yeah. But
health and fitness is just as important, because it's life and death for us right now. When you look at, you know, categories for hypertension, diabetes, like you look at, you know, our health as a people.
Yeah,
we're never in the great categories. We're always leading in the worst categories.
Oh boy, I swear I was just thinking about this just yesterday,
dude.
Because a lot of hoods are food deserts. But I say that to say this: at what point do we stop shucking the blame and just accept accountability for our situation, where we're at, and make a change? What's stopping us from putting gardens in our neighborhoods? What's stopping us? You know, what's stopping us putting one in our backyard?
That's what I mean. That's actually one of my guests is talking. He's going to be talking about tomorrow. So it'll be part of the conversation about self-sustainability. That's what he's actually doing with his organization, is actually helping build like gardens in people's home, like backyard, like building box gardens, installing gardens for people to grow their own food.
Tell them to hit me up, because I'm actually planning on putting an aquaponics garden in the backyard. You ever heard of aquaponics?
Briefly, but not like a lot about it.
It's so dope. It's so dope. If I'm going to do it, I got to do it right. So basically, you don't use soil to grow the food, right?
Okay, so I heard the right thing.
Yeah, so you use water and just basically a box with lava rock or some type of clay rock that holds the plants in place. So filtered water from a fish tank or from something else, right? I'm gonna do the fish tank. And so you're growing fish, right? And I mean, like, you could do tilapia, you could do trout, whatever, right? That water filters, comes in, waters the plants, right? Now it's dirty water at the time, but the bacteria, it's good for the plants. The plants clean the water. It filters back into the tank with the fish, and now it's circulating clean water, aerated clean water, and fertilizing your man. I'll send you a video,
dude. That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And like I've been looking at it all last week, right, and just kind of trying to figure out how I can do it in my backyard and kind of make it happen. But think about it. Fish, great sustainable source of protein, right?
Protein,
and it's good for you. It's not bad for you. People don't know this either, but you can eat a fish right out of the water. It's one of the only meats that you could eat fresh. You pull a fish out. Sushi, what is sushi? Right?
Raw fish.
Bam. So, but, not that I'm gonna be doing all that, right? But
I'd like to see it if you do, by the
way. But here, I'm mainly pescatarian. I definitely do dabble in, chicken and red meat from time to time, but like mainly pescatarian is how I eat, and a lot of vegetables and all that, right? So, perfect. I put some fish out there, some tilapia, raising my own trout, whatever. Boom, I got that. Now I'm growing vegetables. Now I have that. I'm not saying that I'm gonna eat that every single meal, but at least I'm learning a skill, right?
Yeah.
On how to grow my own food. And not only that, but I'm eating healthy. I'm eating clean, I'm eating organic.
And you're decreasing your dependence on outside sources.
Exactly.
You're decreasing it. Now, I know it'll never just be completely just able to cut off the grocery store altogether, but you're definitely decreasing the dependence on it. And for a lot of these areas, like you talked about, that are legit food deserts, they are just stuck. They have no options. Like all their options are bagged food, processed food. You go to this convenience store.
That's it. A little bit down the road, it's pork rinds and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but you got to have the knowledge to know that I can't eat this all the time. Because if I do, why is it that granddaddy got high blood pressure, grandma got diabetes, Auntie Karen got this, it's why is that happening? Oh wait, we all have the same habits. So the habits have to change.
You're correct.
Right?
We're passing down bad habits.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and I see it every day, working in the medical field, in the hood, working on the west side. I see it all the time. This is exactly, these are the things that ail the black community. Diabetes for sure, hypertension, heart disease, all right? All of these things, most of my patients have one of the three. Most of them have one of the three. It's crazy.
Which are also the comorbidities for COVID. I wonder why it hit the black community so hard. COVID hit the black community hard.
Oh, we doing this.
And wonder why.
Going down the COVID road.
I wasn't planning on it, but when you said them, I'm like, those are also the comorbidities. I guess I'll have to save that for you.
No. Keep it going. I'm going to check the camera real quick. Let me just make sure that we didn't get interrupted. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
I didn't want to jump into that route, but man, when we talk COVID and like, well, why is it hitting black folks so hard? Comorbidities for it are what we suffer from the most of anyone else. So then when you couple that with healthcare disparities, meaning the access to healthcare, good healthcare, you had a disaster. You were already more susceptible. You're more likely you're probably going to go downhill because you have the comorbidities that exacerbate it. Then you don't have the access to good healthcare on top of it, because again, along with food deserts, it's access to medical care. How many black folks are really going to the doctor taking care of themselves or have access to it? And you put all that together and then say, all right, go for it. And then release this thing out. I was like, we didn't stand a chance. We didn't stand a chance. Right now, we don't stand a chance. Not with that mixture. That's a deadly mixture.
All right, I'm gonna start by saying I don't want this to sound insensitive, because I know COVID is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people.
It is.
And as soon as they're triggered, their ears shut off.
Yeah, I guess stop watching now. There.
But let me ask this first of all. Why is it that the media talked about COVID for a year straight? How often did you see or hear, hey, work out, eat healthy, take care of your body? How often did you see that?
You didn't.
It was a couple people, but that's not what the main That's not the main topic, right? Main topic was, oh, these people dying, everybody's dying, which I'm gonna tell you again. I've said it several times, and you can fact check me, but I'm in the field, I'm seeing this stuff. I'm the one bringing these people who are dying to the hospital, right? And I'm not talking to you, I'm talking out loud. The numbers are wrong. I'm gonna just leave it there. But the people who, prior to COVID, taking care of themselves, right? Didn't have prevented pre-existing conditions, because of the main pre-existing condition was obesity, right? Most America has the highest percentage of obese people.
We are obese.
Okay?
Period.
So, but that was the main pre-existing condition. Now, you're gonna have that pre-existing condition. COVID hit, well, you're obese. It's not like you can just not be obese, right? If you created the habit prior to something like this going down, you would have been, you may have been better off, right? Now, COVID was what, 98% survivable, 99% survivable? It was astronomically survivable.
It's high 90s.
Okay, for most people. It was when you had those pre-existing conditions that it truly, really did affect you. My cousin passed away he had a lot of pre-existing conditions, unfortunately, right? And rest in peace, Melvin.
Sorry to hear that.
Right? I am too, but at the same time, I say this to say, like, I'm not being insensitive, I'm just being real. Like, you have to take care of your body. Like, I had COVID, okay? And I'm not, the healthiest of the healthiest. I got over COVID in a day, essentially. I mean, yeah, I had to quarantine and do all that stuff. But, like, as far as I felt like shit, I felt really bad, 24 hours. I kid you not. 24 hours, I felt like shit. So woke up on a Sunday and I felt fine. I couldn't taste, I couldn't smell for 2 weeks after that. But I was, anytime you get sick, you're gonna be fatigued. Because your body just fought a war inside of it.
It just did a lot of work.
Yeah, those white blood cells were like, all right, we're here, let's go to battle. So you're gonna be fatigued, you're gonna be a little bit tired, you're gonna have to take it easier after, you get over any illness, whether it be the flu, whether it be a cold, whatever. That's just the way the body works, right? But 24 hours felt like shit. Did all my, but I take my vitamins, I do this, I work out, whatever.
Religiously.
And I know other people, same situation. They prior to COVID, they had a habit of they eat healthy, they take care of themselves, they take their vitamins. Their health is their priority, right? Got COVID. Some of them didn't even have symptoms. Some of them, I felt sick for a day or two. I'm good now. So why it pisses me off. This is why I was like, ooh, I don't want to talk about this, because my perspective, I'm hurting a lot of people's feelings right now. And I'll probably get backlash for it. It is what it is.
It'd be like that.
But just as somebody who works in the healthcare industry and I deal with unhealthy people every day, I see a common theme, especially in the Black community. Our health is not our priority. And when I go to gyms, right, and I live in Central Florida, it might be different elsewhere, right? When I go to gyms, I don't see a number of Black females in the gym. I see Black men for sure, because I just got done hooping today, and there's Black men playing basketball, great. But when I'm working out, I see Spanish women, right? I see white women. I don't see as equally. I'm not saying that there aren't any, all right? What I'm saying is there are less than there are more. Like, I don't see that many Black women in the gyms. And I go to a whole bunch of gyms. I got my health insurance pays for my gym memberships. So I go anywhere. And I've been to a lot of gyms around Central Florida. And that's just not what I see. And I don't know why that is. I don't know what that is, why that's not in our culture to like, hey, like, let's take care, let's go to the gym, let's start a habit of going to the gym, let's learn how to work out, let's And not even that. I mean, you work out outside. It's awesome, right?
I love it.
You know, like, why is that not what you see when you go visit the hood, right? It's not, you don't see people outside working out. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. If we had that, and I feel like I'm talking too much, but if we had that, we would not have gotten hit with COVID as bad as we did in the black community. If health was a priority prior to, if it was a habitual priority prior to something like this, then maybe we would have had a different outcome. I mean, it is what it is now, but now I think we should take a lesson and say, hey, we need to make our health a priority. But that requires taking accountability.
That's a hard thing to do, though, man. Listen, one of my favorite things is everything starts with the mirror. Everything starts with the mirror.
Yep.
Everything. I don't care what you're talking about. It starts with the mirror. Look in that mirror, and if that ain't right and it needs work, get to work, because that's where you got to start. And then you can start branching out and say, all right, now I'm ready to do this or move and do that. I'm like, but look in that mirror, man. And I would think part of not seeing a lot of black women in the gym, I would say maybe poverty being probably rule number one. Just simple fact of culturally, when you're always battling poverty, that leaves little time for anything else. That leaves very little time for spending adequate time with children to do homework and ensure school success. That leaves very little time to be at home and parent like you would want to. Mm-hmm. You know, that leaves very little time to go to the gym and work out. That leaves little time to do a lot of things that would help make your life better, because you're constantly trying to fight for survival. Mm-hmm. You're always in survival mode. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm trying to work 2 jobs or do this or do that just to try to keep what I got, keep my lights on, keep this, that. And so it allows for a lot of things to take the back seat, and then mix in living in food deserts. So no access to fresh fruits, vegetables, and other things that you would think would make better sense than quick meals. So instead of hitting the McDonald's drive-thru, because again, you work, you're busy, you're this, you're that, you don't have time to cook meals and actually cook healthy meals. So you hit the drive-thru and get the kids, you know, burgers, fries, whatever, so they can get home, so they can get started on this, so they can do this. You know, you get caught in this vicious cycle, and it cuts out a lot of these healthy things and healthy habits that you could have.
That's a good point.
While you're battling, just trying to survive and keep the bills up, keep this up, keep that up. And that's part of, I feel, what we got to work on changing. That's like, hey, listen, now that we're aware of it, because now you got study after study after study that says we are not healthy as a people. What are we going to do with that? Like, okay, so we got to start now saying, all right, we may not all be able to go and be fitness models, but you know what? We can form walking groups.
Something.
You know, we can form a walking group and take your kids with you, because they need to walk. Because if they don't learn the good habits, again, it ain't gonna do no good if I do it and I don't teach them. Take them with you. Like, develop some habits and be healthy. Like, start cooking a little more. If you got a meal prep, it requires a little discipline. You may have to take a little extra time. I know you're tired. It's hard to do. I know it is for me. But planning meals for the week and say, you know, I'm gonna try to cut back on how much I hit drive-thrus.
Yep.
And try to actually make their meals. Yep. And control that intake. Because we have a lot of unhealthy children. Part of seeing kids coming out to coach, they're not healthy. They don't work out. I go, all right, man, let's learn how to do push-ups, or let's not do. And you got kids that can't do one, or they run one lap and they're about to die on me. You know, so you got a lot of unhealthy kids and unhealthy parents. I'm like, well, this is just, we're already 2 generations lost right now. And it's sad. Yeah. Because you go, well, what part of this do we start to say, all right, culturally, we got to make fitness a thing. Just like we make everything else a thing, we got to make it a thing. Like, nah, man, you know, I understand being thick is a thing. And, you know, and part of not wanting to be body shamed, or now I'm drifting into deep water. Part of, I know. I'm drifting into deep water, and I don't want
to cancel this episode.
I shouldn't, honestly. I really shouldn't drift into deep water. But part of us saying, you know, nobody's too big, you know, it's thick. I'm a BBW, this, that, and all. I'm like, not bad. I'm not hating on you. You know that is what it is. But there's a health component. Yeah, you need to be healthy. Like, you need to be healthy. If you're thicker or bigger, fine. but you need to be healthy. Like, I'm not skinny at all.
Exactly. You need to be
at
healthy.
all.
Because let's keep it a bean. All right.
But I'm trying to be healthy.
There was like a cultural shift in the world. I remember me and my boys was messing around. It was like, what's in the water? Like, why are all these white women getting asses just out of nowhere, right? Right? But they're in the gym. Now it wasn't. Remember, it used to not be popular for women to have asses, right? Like
thickness wasn't a thing.
But black women have always been, good shape, like ass, all of that, right? Sexy, okay? But like you said, you got to be healthy, right? Because you have all that, you got the build, but it's easy to transition into the wrong side of that, right?
You go from thick to fat real fast.
Yeah, but you gotta take care of that, right? So I like what you said about we gotta make fitness a thing, because we do. Once we touch something, we make it cool.
We blow it up. Like we will absolutely. We have that cultural influence.
Don't know what it is, but it's something that happens.
We select. We culturally influence.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's in everything. It's not to be funny, but literally, you can look at every part of America.
It's facts.
When we decide culturally to make it a thing,
it's facts.
It becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And it becomes a trend, and it catches on, which is why cultural appropriation is such a problem, because it's only after we did the labor of putting it up there and making it a thing, then here you come saying, well, now, AKA, like a McDonald's, I'm loving it. Really? You dropped the G? Really? Loving? I'm loving it. Like, only when we make it a cool thing, and now you're kind of hijacking it.
What's his name from Pusha T? Pusha T was the one that made that slogan for McDonald's.
There you go.
But to add to your point.
Like, all of a sudden, it's like, wait, y'all don't talk like this, but it's a thing. We made it a thing. We dropped the G's. We did all that.
Man. That's funny.
We did that, and it's a great video, and I'll send it to you on language and culture and how we talk and how we speak. And you are affecting the culture. Yeah. So if we decide to make it a thing for us, just like we make a lot of things a thing, then it catches on and say, well, that's what we need to be doing. That's how we need to be moving. Yeah, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with being a little bigger, a little thicker, but it's about being healthy. It's not trying to say you need to be a body type. You don't need to be a body type. You just need to be healthy.
So doing this takes us to another point of us focusing on our own. We've accepted accountability. We got a problem. Boom. But we need to focus on our community to do this, right? And I think overall, that type of mentality is how we're going to fix a lot of the things that we see. By us saying, hold up, we got to take accountability as a people, and we're going to stop blaming everybody else, and we're just going to focus on us for a period of time, get this shit right. That's the way to, in my personal opinion, to fix it. A lot of my friends got upset at me because I didn't go out this last time when George Floyd passed, and everybody was marching in the streets or whatever. And I got invited to go out, and I didn't judge. Like, do your thing. If that's what you want to go do, protest out there, go do it. You have that right. Cool. I didn't feel like it was necessary for me, because I was looking at it like, I don't think this is the way. I don't think this is gonna change anything, right? And that's just my opinion. You want to see me march out on the streets and protest? If you want to make fitness a thing in the black community, I'm all about it. I will be out there with whatever picket sign, whatever jump rope, whatever you need. I will be out there and in support of that, because that is going to create real change, and it's going to change the mindset of those coming up after us to say, hey, I need to take care of my body. Like, yeah, Grandma, I love you. We haven't been doing this the right way. So right. I want to help change the community this way, right? By working out and encouraging other people to work out, or just eating right. Like,
it's your lane. It's your lane. Like, you found your lane, and you're like, this is where my passion is, and that's my lane. And every problem doesn't necessarily have to be met with the same solution that you think is going to be the only way to do something.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of saying, finances is the way to go.
Oh, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that too.
Money is power.
That's probably first.
Money is power.
It is.
At the end of the day, money's
green.
power.
Money is green.
Money is an equalizer. Money can change situations that you thought couldn't be changed.
Money's green.
Money can, and when money starts getting involved, money is the root of most of what you want to fix.
Let me ask you this: why is it that the black dollar is still at the same value it was when slavery was abolished?
And that we own less than 0.5 of 1% of anything.
But yet,
at the same as the end of the Civil War.
We spend trillions of dollars every year, the black community, and the black dollar only circulates in our community for less than 6 hours.
Correct.
In the Jewish community, I believe it is 30 days.
Let's say it's days.
I believe it's 30 days. I could be wrong. I don't have the stats, but yeah, that money. I think the money issue is first. I didn't know we were going to go down that road.
Finance. Me, I'm like finance. That's my lens when I see problems. I think because what you're saying is you see problems through your lens that you're like, all right, I think this is the way to go about that, or this is my passion, my lane.
Yeah.
And for me, I definitely I'm obviously in law enforcement, so I have a thought process there, and I'm actively doing that. So to me, I'm like, well, I'm doing the most I can to be a change agent. In that realm. I literally get up every single day and actually go do it. So to me, I'm like, I'm 13. I put my skin in the game for quite a while. So I'm not really worried about am I doing enough or making an impact there. So my other lane now is I'm like, all right, but definitely wanting to start to push for like accountability and awareness about some of the things that we're doing. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest is finance. We do not own and control anything or any institution in our neighborhoods.
But
so not own and control on a large scale.
I gotta get that Louis Vuitton bag.
Right.
I gotta I gotta get the latest Nike shoes, man. I gotta do it.
But won't shop with your homegirl who sells accessories and bags. Facts. Your homegirl has a website, has an IG, sells accessories, sells bags.
Oh, that ain't it. That ain't it. Nah. That shit trash, man.
But I'm gonna go buy a Gucci belt. But you'll buy a Gucci belt. I'm like,
I'm with you.
Wait a minute.
I'm with you.
It's what
I'm with you.
We give value. We determine what's valuable. A Gucci belt is worthless to me. Absolutely worthless. You can give me that, and I'm not turning it down. But you can give me that, and I'm going to tell you, honestly, that's not.
What gives it value?
That doesn't do anything to me. Like, that's a Gucci belt. Like, oh, that's nice.
What gives it value?
I'd rather you bought me stocks in a good company. I'd really rather you'd done that because that to me is actually worth something. This is depreciating the minute you took it out of the store.
What gives a Gucci belt? What gives and I'm not
we
attacking
give things
Gucci.
Value.
Exactly.
And not even going after Gucci. It's
that's
Nike. It's any brand.
That's the point. That is the point right there. That's what I was trying to get at.
We give it value.
We give it value.
We do that.
It's only cool, or it's only a thing, or it's only valuable
if we say so.
If we say so, right? Mm-hmm. Jewelry, for example, right? I just had this. It wasn't an argument. It was more of just like a
gentleman's disagreement.
We were learning together, right? I found out about lab-grown diamonds, right? And my lieutenant originally kept saying, "Hey, like that's cubic zirconium. Like it's fake. It's fake. It's a fake diamond." And I'm like, "Nah, like." I'm just reading this article, and it's saying they are using technology to create diamonds in a lab, and they cost so much more. cost so much less than the diamonds that are over, being brought over from Africa, right? We give things value though. So the reason why a diamond from Africa or wherever it comes from, a mined diamond, because of everything it costs to actually mine that diamond. But now you're telling me it costs less. It's the exact same thing, and it can be made in a lab and grown in a lab over like a course of a week, and get the same exact carat that I want for less. But I should go spend more on this one because it's more valuable. How does that make sense? It's the same shit. It's the same fucking shit.
I give it value.
Exactly. You give it value. So now when your friend, this right here, is actually one of my friends, Jermaine.
Nice.
Swole Gang. That's his brand. Whatever. Shout out to you.
Hey.
And I try to wear my friends' stuff or my own stuff like anywhere I go, right? Like, and if I see my friends, creating something, I'm like, hey, let me get one. Like I'll give you the money. I don't want a discount. I want to pay you for this because this is how I help you grow. If I could just get one, I got a couple of Swole Gang shirts, but if I could just get one, cool. Like I'm doing my part to support, right?
That's all it takes.
Liking videos, right? I'm giving you value.
Small support, man. That's
Small
all
support.
it takes.
And it takes, and his thing is growing. Like he's doing his thing, right? Like I think that's all he's doing now. It's just the clothing line.
Nice.
It's dope. It's super dope. But you give it value. If I were to be like, man, nah, that ain't Nike, man. Nah, man, I can't go to the gym in that, man. I only like to hoop and you know, Under Armour shirts or whatever like that. No. but I'm just saying, then I'm
with your brother is what really made that blow up. I'll get to that in a second.
Oh yeah, the commercial.
We must protect his house.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm just saying that, brother.
No, you're right.
If it wasn't for that iconic moment,
You're right.
I'm just saying. Just saying, Under Armour, I love you, but he kind of helped y'all like.
But the more people that do that, give things value. How do we not know that in 10 years from now, Swole Gang won't be competing with Nike? You get what I'm saying? But all it takes for you to do is just support a little bit. You want $25 for this shirt? All right, cool. I'm gonna give you $25 for this shirt because it's a shirt, and I'm going to go to Nike or whoever. This is not an assault on Nike.
He's not going to argue with them at all.
And not going to argue with them at all. Oh, yeah, man, they going to hook me up for $30.
Ain't going to argue.
What? Like, it's you know, but I think pride is involved in a lot of that too. And we are very, very prideful people.
Don't want to see you come up because then you'll do better than me.
Man, why? You was just working with me at McDonald's. Now you want me to buy something from you? Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. I want your support. I thought we were cool. Like, but I'm not gonna support you because I don't want to see you do better than me. That's stupid. That mindset to me is just the dumbest thing ever. Because if you do better, I do better.
By default.
By default. At the end of the day, positive vibes only. Positive vibes only. Like, if you do better, if I see my friend doing better, I'm connected to that person in one way or another. I'm calling them my friend. This is my friend. I know them. I seen their journey. I seen them when they were at the bottom. Now they're moving up.
Yep.
I'm connected in that. How do I know that you won't reach back and be like, hey, I'm gonna support you in this way. Let's come up together. Instead of me trying to pull you down. That's trash. That's a stupid mindset. I hate it.
And it's something you gotta almost coach out of our kids, coach out of our culture. Oh, Google, stop listening to me. Stop listening to me.
Feds, Nike heard
what we must
said.
have said Nike or Under Armour too many times. They said it to me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm gonna start saying Reebok. I know ain't nobody worried about them. But they're gonna get bought, and we need to put them on when that happens. But it's saying teach that in our culture now and start changing the way we raise our kids. I'm a big about like, hey, listen, we're now aware, this generation here, our mid-30s, 40s, and so we're aware. So now we really need to say the stuff that we know now, we need to teach our kids that are 10, 11, 12, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We need to put them on game now, get them on code now, because I'm now getting there in my mid-30s, 40s. I want you to get there quicker than that because then you can start making changes even earlier and even better than me. So I want to teach you to start saying, you know what? See the value in things correctly. Rather than letting you grow up your whole life being indoctrinated by the media about what's valuable and what's important and what's this. No, that's not important. Your health is important. No, supporting your friends is important. Like if I'm shopping, shop online and show you a local black vendor and say, we're going to buy stuff from them. And then tell you why we're going to buy stuff from them. And this is why you're going to buy stuff from them. And it's indoctrinating that into you. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to do it.
That's not to say you never buy from anywhere else.
Oh, you have no choice. So you're stuck. You have to buy from other people because we don't have the ability to be completely independent.
Yeah.
At any point. I think society's too interdependent now for that to ever happen.
After integration, that's what happened.
But we can change. Ooh, don't. Not social integration. Oh, Lord.
Hey, man, I'm here for it.
Social integration. Man. But yeah, so we're too interdependent now to ever really fully break off.
That's the thing, bro.
But
That's
we can
the
do
thing.
way better than what we're doing.
We could support, instead of buying everything over this way, we could say, all right, like you said, I'm gonna get this from you know, a black store. I'm gonna get this from, you know, I'm gonna support over here. But yeah, hey, I like what they got over here too. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna buy this, you know, from them. Like, it is what it is. You know
I'm
what
still
I'm
gonna buy Under Armour. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
Still gonna buy it. I am. But I'm also gonna
still
shop.
do.
I'm still gonna shop with my boy.
I go to Ross though.
Oh, there you go. Smart.
Bro, listen. So
Smart.
They
it.
send all of that stuff to Ross, and then it's chalked down, and I like all
To
all
its
of this,
real value.
This entire besides this shirt, but like these sweatpants and all my athletic stuff is like $10.
Yeah, the real value, not the $70 you was trying to get up off of me 6 months ago.
Yeah, these pants. These actually, I think these originally were $70.
I was gonna say about $70. They're trying to get it up off you.
I got
man.
these for $10, $9.99 at
They
Ross.
playing games. They play games, and I know it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna not play with y'all. Like my boy has a shirt company. I'll shout him out. Unlock Potential.
Okay.
I bought a couple shirts from him. So when he started a shirt company,
Okay.
you know, and you can find it on Instagram. Unlock Potential, homie. I'm like, yo, of course I'm gonna support you. Like, yeah, you got a shirt company. You're making shirts. They're good shirts. They're good quality. Yes, I'm gonna support that. Same money I'm gonna spend anywhere else. Why does it bother me to support you versus giving money to someone I've never met and don't know? And will never meet in my lifetime. And knowing that that money's not gonna go anywhere but to his yacht and in the Caribbean.
I'm about to drop the bomb on you then.
Like,
do you think it's because we don't value ourselves enough as a community? So hear me out. I heard Nipsey Hussle say this, and it was very impactful.
man, my dude.
If you listen to our music, all right, what do you hear? And I don't want to say our music because we're more than just hip hop culture. Okay.
What's put out in mainstream? I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because that's typically what you will hear. The stuff that you're about to talk is what mainstream keeps in the forefront.
In the forefront.
Not what's really encompasses all the black music.
Yes.
That's just what they keep in
That's
front
what
of
they
you.
keep and then that's what other cultures look at us and they think that that's what
This is
we
what
are,
y'all-
and that's like, oh, you know, wait.
That's it. Like, that's all y'all
Well,
about.
That's a whole rabbit hole we don't need to go down. But also to our detriment, right? Nipsey Hussle said this. He said, you know, one day they were going out to get revenge on somebody, right? Some gang shit. And he was looking out at people, and he saw people on the sidewalk, whatever. Oh, he's a square. No, that's not him. Oh, he's, you know, she's a civilian. That's a baby. He said, I was looking for a certain thing. I was looking for somebody like me, like at the time he was doing gang shit. So he was looking for a gangster, right? Mm-hmm. To do harm to, right? Well, we all are soldiers in this army, right? He's looking for somebody like him, right?
Okay.
Now, when you hear our music, you hear a lot of that. Talking about violence against our own, right?
Oh, yeah.
Putting ourselves down. I'm better than you. Look at me, like, you know, and rhyming it in cool ways. And it sounds great. It sounds dope. You know what I'm saying? But at the same, what's the real message? What's the real message? You're devaluing somebody else in your own army. You get what I mean? Yep. So we devalue each other a lot. So do you think that, like, we don't value black enough or at all?
I would say there's definitely a lack of love for self, love for your culture, and love for your people. Because part of the process, if you go back to the start, part of the process to breaking a people to a point to where you subjugate them into chattel slavery is you strip away all the things that make communities stick together: language, family, culture, togetherness. You break traditions. You strip all that out, and you strip them down to just what I need for you to function, to do what we intend for you to do. You're brought here as a labor class, make no mistake about it. So boom, that's out. That's your original intended purpose, and was so for a couple hundred years. Was the case. You are a labor class. That is why you are here. So hence the reason why you're fighting the uphill battle to codify your rights and get recognized on something because it was never the intention from the start. So when you break somebody or break down a culture for hundreds of years and strip away all the things I think that make you have pride in yourself, your language, the way you talk, the way you strip all that away, part of the journey of us trying to build back through that, along the way fighting poverty, fighting systemic racism, you're fighting all this along the way, and the conditions in which you live under don't help you build these things back up necessarily, because a lot of these areas, when these kids are rapping about that stuff, they live in places where this was their life. And so that's always kind of the thing you hear when you talk about, like, you ask them about the music, like, well, that was my life. That's how I grew up. This is what it was. And it's like, true story, that probably was how you grew up. That probably is what happened. So it's not to say that what you're saying isn't wrong, but understand that what you're putting out there is detrimental to your people. But you don't see the viewpoint of that because we're not raised yet to say what I do impacts my people. It isn't just about me. I don't just represent myself. I represent my people. I represent my culture. And that this isn't gonna help. This isn't representing my people. Not in a good way. It's telling a story, no doubt about it. It's telling about the experiences and the things that you're going through, but it isn't really helping your people. Because what the people that are taking this music they're marketing it in the way they're using it. They're not using it as a storytelling function to say that these are the issues with systemic racism and poverty and these are the things that it causes. They're not using it that way. They're using it to shape an image of your people. And so while you see the money, they're using that. They're using your story. They're using these created conditions, because they are. You. And they're using it against you. They're using it against your people. Yeah, they're giving you a bag, but understand what they're doing with that imagery. What they're doing with that words. They're tearing you down, and they're keeping that in the forefront and say that this is black life, this is black experiences, this is black. And it's like, no, it's not. And then
when you show up and you don't embody that image, they tell you you're not black enough. Or our own people say that stupid man, I've heard it my entire life.
What
is black enough?
What is black enough? I've never understood. I've heard it
because when my taxes are due and I get pulled over by the police, I'm still black.
I feel very black.
All right. So
every time I look in the mirror, I feel very black. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about, but I feel it.
So
I know how I think. I don't know if that's the case.
You know, and I've heard it from not just our people, but I've heard it from other cultures. Oh, you don't talk black.
It's a microaggression.
What the fuck? What the fuck did you? What does that mean?
What does that even
sound like? How do I talk black? How do you talk like a color? That makes no sense.
I didn't know.
This is how I talk.
I didn't know using
the English language. I was born in America. I speak English.
I speak English.
I don't. What were you expecting me to say? You want me to speak Ebonics? It's funny because I can do that, and I can actually understand them pretty well. But
I code switch.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm being me right now. Oh, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to dance for you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
It is the worst microaggression. I can't stand that.
I feel like we create that because of we're allowing this message to continue to go out. You know what I mean? About our people. And when it comes to like our music, well, not our music, I keep saying that. Hip hop. I love hip hop. My number one genre.
I love it.
But the good shit, the conscious shit, you're not hearing that on the radio.
You won't. Mainstream won't push that.
You're not gonna hear that on the radio.
And and again, that's partially.
That's why I love J. Cole so much, because he's in the mainstream, but the boy is bad, and he actually always has a message behind
the GOAT.
Us, right? Like,
listen, I'm a Cole fan, man.
That's my dude.
I'm a Cole fan, and have been from jump. Like, no, I'm a Cole fan.
Yeah.
And he's that perfect blend right now of just where you need to be. Like, yeah, you're telling a story, yeah, you're being real, but you're not out here completely just saying, I'm degrading my people, or the message and the things that I'm saying can be used against my people.
Exactly.
Because you got to be conscious of how you present yourself, what you say, because other cultures and people will use it against you to say, well, you said that this is all that happens in the neighborhood, so why would I not be afraid of going in that neighborhood? Not understanding that what they're talking about was a 1% of that neighborhood, and that most of the people there are actually good people, hardworking people, and that he was referring to 1 or 2% of people there that were engaged in that. But now that's the representation of that whole neighborhood, and that ain't even the case. If you go there and you meet the people there, you would find out most of these people are they're good people. They're hardworking people.
They just want to save enough money to buy a truck.
They just want to live life.
That's it.
That's it. They're not doing it. But the representation has been made and the stamps put there to say this is how it is. Well, even if it's somewhat statistically true in some areas where it is like, man, it is bad. But again, it can be used against you. So I feel like we gotta be careful about allowing these things to be the mainstream, because again, we can control what gets value. Because if we said, nah, that trash music like this, we're not even gonna listen to, we're not gonna buy, it's not gonna get no streams, we're not giving it that, the companies that run this would have no choice. Because at the end of the day,
switch it up. Money is key.
Money is power. And if they don't see the money in it, and it's not the value, they're not gonna put it out. They'll say, trash rappers, hey, your era's up. Sorry, the movement moved on to something else. They want conscious music. They want people to talk about something. They want things to promote something worth talking about. Because when you look at other genres of music, you don't see self-destructive patterns in the music. You don't see them talking self-destructive things for the most part.
Maybe grunge.
You just don't. Like,
maybe grunge music, just a little
maybe
bit.
Some heavy dark stuff. You can get into that.
Yeah.
You listen to other folks, they're talking about life, love, this, that. There's no mention of, saying, I'm going to kill someone that looks like me. No, you're not even going to see that. You read the lyrics, you're not even going to see it.
Exactly.
And again,
that's normal for us at this point. Like, it's kind of like, that's normal. Like, people seek this out. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of us seek this out. Like, this ain't hard enough. Like, that's why they gave Drake a hard time when he first came out. Like, what is this? Like, he's singing about love and everything like that. Like,
he don't want to kill nobody. No. Why would you? I'd have to first, like I said, I think that lack of love for yourself.
Yeah.
And then for your culture. Because there's no way I can look in the mirror and truly love what I see in that mirror as a black man. And then look at another black man.
Say, I want to take your life.
And say, I'll kill him. Yeah. For nothing. Now, I obviously, absent the normal circumstance under which you need to defend your life. They're trying to take your life in an unjust manner. Do your thing.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I don't value the person I see. Like, no, I see you, I see a person. Now, I see people, and of course I see people, but I'm talking about culturally saying I see another black man, another black woman, I see my brother, my sister, I see a cousin. I see myself in you. Mm-hmm. So how could I harm you if I see myself in you? And if I love me, how can I do that? That doesn't work. Like, the two don't mix. If I really love me, what I see in the mirror, who I am, my culture, my people, I can't look at another black man, another black woman and harm them and say, and not feel no type of I see myself.
Not only that,
it's not going to happen.
If you value you, and I'm not saying this as a whole, I'm talking about just regular average Joe. Mm-hmm. If he sees value in himself and in his people, then a Gucci belt, I don't have to have it on to feel like I have value, to express that I have value, to express that I am somebody. Because naturally, if I was standing here naked, I have value.
Yeah.
That's where we got to get at some point. And I think we will. I think we're getting there. We're working the kinks out and we're figuring it out as a community. Or whatever.
Time is going to do it. And these type of conversations and then involving the next generation coming up. Like we're getting there. I feel like as our group, our generation, we're getting there, which is good, and we can make a lot of good changes. But the changes that really, you're talking about the next generation, we got to get them to our level of thought process and how we want to do things way younger, because then they can really make real changes and say, nah, we ain't doing that. Like, we're not doing what y'all did. We're going to change that. Or do better than that. Like, nah, we're going to do better than that.
And we just take steps. We're taking a step. We need the next generation to take that next step. It's a ladder, homie.
Yes, sir.
My man, this has been a great conversation.
Absolutely.
All right, Officer JC Memms. Follow him on Elevating Black Lives on IG, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget to subscribe to Health, Mind, Body, Life TV. Find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, HMBL_TV. And yeah,
yes, sir.
It's been a great conversation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming over.
We'll do it again, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.